So, well, we have the ECU that's now back. It's not there, but it will be there in a moment. We'll need to get this thing up to temperature. See where it pops a hose and blows the coolant everywhere. That'd be quite nice to know, because, you know, it's handy to keep the coolant in the pipes. So we've popped the pipes on where I believe they need to be with clips. Some are good clips, some are bad clips. I always use a bit of a random box, and then when we pull this thing out and tear it down, then we'll work out which clips are correct, which ones I need to order and measure up, and then do the list. If you kind of do them as you go, you'll just be delaying the process and stuff will arrive and you won't know it's for, etc. It's not too bad though. I've done pretty well with what I had. Some of the clips are absolutely fine, they're brand new, that one there, but they may be a bit long, so we'll just, you know, play around with that. We've also measured up for some heat tubing, particularly for these two pipes and this pipe here, which obviously a bit close to the exhaust, so nice bit of heat shield, shroud stuff. I probably won't show them because they really didn't work, but did try and do some cool kind of clippy things to hold the flip-flop on, but broke. So we have the fresh oil and the flush in it. We're going to put some coolant in a minute, but we need to get this old water pump spinning, and to spin that you need a belt, and I don't have one. So we've measured up. It's about 8 o'clock this morning, so we're going to head into town, see if the old AAA is open. Shout out to them if any of them goes watch me. Yeah, AAA, great guys. Sometimes they're rather expensive, particularly on brakes for some reason, so make your brakes cheaper. But auxiliary belts, they can't be beaten on price, so we're going to go and get a few around the size we need. Of course, we have our shopping list. Here we go. So it's 6 peak, somewhere between 1080 and 1100, I think, so we'll get a few around that size. Let's go and get them, fit the belt, put some coolant in it, see where it leaks without it running, get the ECU on, and in a bag somewhere there's some wiring. Where's the bag? It's under the bonnet, of course. So let's get that out, get the engine running. Now we have places to plug some sensors in, like the vacuum and some other blip blops, then we'll see what it does. We found the perfect length. 6 peak, 1045. This, however, is a 1050. So it's just on the edge of what I'm happy with, but I'm happy, at least for warming up. Test everything works okay. The temperature is just kind of on its end of its travel, so, you know, having a little bit of play with it would be good. We've had to just lop off the top of the bolt there. That's totally fine. And right, let's get some coolant in it, see where it leaks, aerolite those leaks up, and then run it. Okay, so we have our wiring temporarily set up. This is the next big job on this Mini, once we've got the rust sorted on the doors, which is another episode, probably happened before this. Yeah, we need to sort that wiring out, but we've got it all plugged in as it should. And what we're going to do is we've just quickly started it. We know it starts, that's fine. We've got all the sensors plugged in now, which is kind of nice. So hopefully she shouldn't rev hang, well, hold, I should say. She wasn't very happy, she couldn't see boost and airflow, etc. So it's going to create some heat very quickly. Let's get some coolant in it, or at least a little bit of water, and a little bit of a flush in there. Make sure it doesn't leak, and get it up to temperature, really. That's the plan today. Let's get it up to temperature. I have just the right amount of antifreeze in this system, so put a little bit of that in. Yeah, just another 20ml. Literally a corrosion inhibitor, because we're flushing this sucker out soon, so no point putting too much antifreeze in it. Good old fresh Cotswold water. Expensive stuff. Leakages, of which we have one already. So that's good to spot. Got one on the coolant bottle at the bottom there. That'd be white. Great. Sorted that little leak out down there, just dodgy Jubilee clip, which we will deal with. Our next job is to see if we have leaks elsewhere. So just like overflowed it, which is never a good thing to do, because then you just assume there's leaks everywhere and there isn't. trying to check for leaks everywhere, just without any pressure in it. It's always a good start. That should fit on there, like that, and then I can use the vapour pipe, what I call the vapour pipe. Put some movement in the water, some pressure, and we can blank this one off. And it sort of burps the system because we're putting pressure into the system. You can hear it kind of flowing around the engine a little bit because it's absolutely bone dry. I want to try and get rid of any airlocks or bubbles. This is the highest point, it's above the matrix pipes over there. But there is sort of a few high points here and there, so we just want to try and get rid of them before we start the engine. So we did both pulling a vacuum and blowing in there just to try and get things moving. And then this says drain radiator, done that. Flush and half refill, sort of done that. Pour in contents of bottle and top up to normal level, sort of done that. I'm getting this radiator flush because it says prevents overheating. So this engine, after having this flush, will never ever overheat. It's ideal, isn't it? I should put this in the lemon. Always overheats. With this in it, it prevents it. So ideal. Okay, so what I'll do now is top the radiator up and then put the radiator cap on, and then we can just top up from the header tank. I don't know, we'll put it somewhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to go round and check all the pipes. Checked, and then we're going to start the engine and hear nice engine noises, and it's going to not overheat and it's going to flow through beautifully. Right, here we go. Ignition on. That's a good start. I'm missing a bolt on that turbo. Forget that. Turbo wooshy noises, turbo wooshy noise. So a couple of major issues, which you might noticed. Clear that bracket is not up to standard. Well, the bracket is, but the radiator has crumpled. We don't seem to have any particular leaks that I can see. Not that I'm aware of anyway. But this water pump's leaking. So actually there's nothing I've done there. The water pump is leaking. Wonderful. At least that's an easy fix. None of the sort of weird modifications I've made are leaking. Just the water pump. So that's great. But yeah, it's all good. Sounds good. Running fine. No water leaks in here. Got hot water coming in and out of the matrix. Lovely jubbly. So that's great. It's all kind of good. So we need to sort the wiring out now. We'll do that another time. I'm going to see what's going on with that radiator once it's cooled down. I'm not quite sure why it's done that. No idea really, but I'm predicting I'm going to have to put a couple of the braces there to stop the radiator bending in half, as it appears to have done. That is not good. Bit disappointing actually. Don't mind the water pump so much, but that is annoying. Anyway. We'll let this run again up to temp, even with it dripping a bit, and then we can drop the oil, put some fresh in it, and drop the coolant, and that can be done really. We can whip everything out. Other than the wiring, the engine can come out for final fit, gearbox repair and diff and paint. And final little trims bits here and there, and we can work out all the little pipes then. Anyway, that's it for this video, I expect. If it is, thanks for watching, give it a thumbs up, look out for the other videos and other stuff where I badly modify cars so that they leak everywhere. Winning! So, I took all these videos, sometimes they're quite useful. Remember, we actually found some parts that we threw away before, for me and Max looking back at the videos. There's drive shafts, if I remember correctly. Fail. So I just looked back at some videos to see when this occurred. I thought it might have happened when the engine started, but it wasn't. So I realised that the head had rounded off. I stupidly used an impact and just trying to zap it off, and it rounded it straight off. So I tried to tap in a Torx, which is my usual method, and of course that don't work because it's an alloy end. So that's when I damaged it, I think. So I used a bit of stainless steel square plate, aluminium buffer, and then just a M6 bolt washer greased up with a nut, and it's pulled it almost square. It's good enough for me. Not going to be seen. It's fine. It's not leaking. That's important. But I could have just left it, but it was pulling the bracket out of place. So fixed. She was dropping fuel pressure, not running right, and then I noticed a terrible smell. And some fuel line I bought for company, who still seem to be selling hundreds of meters of it, it just disintegrates and splits, and I forgot I hadn't replaced the last little bit of line. I've got some new stuff, I'd forgot I hadn't done it. So it just blew again. It's not exactly under high pressure this, just high flow. It went pop. So please be cautious with buying this fuel, because like the exhaust is now hot and just got fuel pouring over the exhaust. So not win. So this is the end of the episode, with the car nearly bursting into flames. Thumbs down for the situation, thumbs up for me surviving.